Hi, I'm Titli and this is my busy garden. It's been dry for about 6 days now, and the sun's been out for some of that time as well. So the grass is actually quite dry. So I'm going to give it its first cut of the year. So let me introduce you to my lawnmower. As you can see, it's a Flymo pack and mow. And the reason we bought it is because it packs away really neatly. Let's unpack it. It's quite cool, isn't it? But would I recommend you buy one? Absolutely not. And here's why. Just flip it onto its side and we can take a look at what's underneath. Now, in common with all mowers of this type, there's a spinning blade on a fan. And I'll just try and take this blade off. Molies. That's got it. Taking this off because I want to sharpen the blade anyway. Eventually. And we can take this off. And the blade pops off. Now the interesting thing about this is that there's normally 2 lugs here. And you can see they've snapped off. Now if the lugs have come off, then what happens, unless you do something about it, is that the blade spins independently of the fan. In other words, it doesn't really cut the lawn. Now, let's do some simple maths. I use this lawnmower about 30 times a year, 20 minutes a time, so that's about 10 hours a year. I've had it for 2 years, 20 hours of mowing. In less than that time, I've had 2 of these fail on me. 2. And when I phoned customer service and said, "Excuse me, your fan has failed," after about 8 hours of operation, they said, "Sorry, your warranty doesn't cover that. You'll have to buy a new one." For 15 quid. Now, I wouldn't mind so much if this was a cheap lawnmower, but it isn't. And the fact that 2 of these have failed in very short time suggests to me that there's a design problem, and Flymo know it. So, to you, Flymo, I shan't be buying any of your lawnmowers again. Anyway, while I've got his bottom off, somebody's just decided to start something very noisy in the garden next door. I'm just going to clean up in here with a scraper. Get off all the old dried grass. It's amazing how much cack gets into your lawnmower. Just scrape the rollers off as well. I always feel it's good to start a new lawn season with some clean lawnmower. Good-o. So now all I've got to do is sort out my blade, which needs a bit of sharpening, and my dodgy fan. I've come into the slick shack to sort out the blade first of all, and I'm going to use this little grinding wheel here to grind a nice blade on it. Well, it's not too bad at all. It's not knife sharp, but it's got a good edge on it. Now for this here fan, here's where the 2 lugs should be. And what I'm going to do is drill a couple of very small holes and just pop some little screws in like this, because they'll act like lugs would. I'll be blowed if I'm going to spend another 15 quid plus postage and packing on a defective piece of plastic. It's a good job I'm handy, really. I got this from my father. He was always very handy and improvising things, and my granny, whose motto was always make do and mend. Oops, other way up. Wunderbar! See, that's going nowhere now. So it's back to the lawnmower with a sharpened blade and 15 quid less worse off. So I'll pop the rotor assembly back in, tighten it up, turn it the right way up, stick the box on, and go and plug it in. So, are we ready? Then contact. Woohoo! Oh yeah, we're mowing now. Success! Now all I need is the operator. Man! 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 Mowing the lawn is one of those jobs that man does in the garden. Can't say he enjoys it, I mean that's probably a bit strong, but he does do it, bless him. And while man's doing that, I'll trim the edges. And with the lawn done, I can pack this away. All packed away. Now I've got a bit of a problem in certain parts of this lawn because it really is infested with an awful lot of moss. In fact, it's mostly moss. Now I could just rake it out, but really I want to kill this moss. And it's a bit early in the year, but nonetheless I'm going to use some moss killer in the really bad patches. This is just a generic lawn feed and weed, and it really is around the apple tree and over by the medlar bed where it's particularly bad. Down along here too. Another thing I'll do in these worst affected areas is just bodge some holes in the ground with a fork, see if I can improve the drainage. Oh look, it's the moon. I like the moon. Not a bad day's work really, even though I say so myself. Well, that's all I've got time for this week. Thanks for watching, and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.